According to the Environmental Protection Agency, a brownfield is a piece of property where expansion, redevelopment, or even normal use may be complicated by the presence or potential presence of contamination. But to a lot of folks, brownfields present an important opportunity. Switzer Fellow Carol Tucker manages a brownfields program for the U.S. EPA. This is Switzer Network News.
We give small grants to municipalities and nonprofit organizations in order for them to hire consultants to test the sites for contamination, to ultimately clean the sites up and look for potential users to go ahead and occupy those properties and revitalize them. One of the reasons that they still exist in some of the urban areas is because brownfields really becomes a real estate deal. It's location, location, location. If it's in, financial district in downtown Boston and someone thinks it's contaminated, it may be worth it for a developer to invest their own money and energy in cleaning that site up because the return on their profit is so huge. If it's in an area where a community needs a school, it may be worth it for them to invest in cleaning up the property to put that school in. So a lot of cases it's in areas that are underserved, impoverished areas, or areas that don't have the economic engine in order to turn these properties around. An abandoned gas station in a very urban area, maybe a small dry cleaners facility that was in a very residential area, to those types of properties that were once big paper mills or big factories in more rural areas that really employed the whole town and now are out of business and the properties are vacant. So here in New England, we typically give out about 80 grants a year. So each one of my staff, called project officers, manages each of those grants, and they help the cities or the grant recipient go through the process. Through our experience, we've seen a property move from this vacant, underutilized brownfield site to a very vibrant, revitalized property that in turn revitalizes the whole neighborhood. So we have the experience and the knowledge of what it takes to get there, and we give them that technical assistance. A lot of times I'll take some mid-sized urban communities. They have these brownfield sites scattered throughout the community, and sometimes they're on marginal edges of economic opportunity. But no one wants to touch it because they think the contamination issue is going to be a big deal to deal with. We'll give that community, that city, a grant in order to assess the property, understand the environmental concerns. A lot of times it's a lot less contamination than is suspected. They go ahead and they bid the property out with the information and the environmental conditions of the site, and a developer will see it. They'll see that it's minimal investment. They'll go ahead and turn those properties back around and put in the local supermarket or convenience store. Or a lot of times communities will have the need for a pocket park, and they'll put in a park to revitalize the area. It's unbelievable how much impact the Brownfields program that EPA has on communities across the country. What it really comes down to is our grants are about $200,000, and we see the small investment of $200,000 turn into a return of investment of millions in a lot of cases. It's not just the bricks and mortar when you redevelop a property and have a building or a beautiful site. It really is the enhancement of the quality of life for the people that live and work around this area. They have a place to play. They have maybe even, it's a parking lot that gets redeveloped on the site, but that parking lot provides the opportunity for these small mom and pop businesses to open on the street and really, turn themselves around. I'll give one example of a very successful story. In Hartford, Connecticut, in this one particular neighborhood, there were no supermarkets, and it was the poorest neighborhood in the community, and the residents really had to kind of ride buses and find other means of transportation, take taxis to the supermarket to get their groceries, and kind of lug it back through the public transit or pay for transit. And this one blighted, underutilized site was there, and the city really had the foresight to see if they could understand the environmental concerns on that site and interest different supermarket developers to come into the neighborhood, and they did just that. They used our money to identify the environmental concerns on the site. They used our money to clean up the site. A supermarket developer came in and built a supermarket. My staff went to the ribbon cutting, and people, grandmothers and kids were really all coming to this ribbon cutting, and they were in tears saying, "You will not believe how much need we had for this basic amenity to have a supermarket in our neighborhood, and what a difference it'll make in the communities."
For more information about this topic, please visit our website. This is Switzer Network News.